Hello, and we're live. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my little camera here. If you could only see my makeshift camera tripod stand thing, you would laugh. But anyway, hello, my name is Becky Sattler, and I am, I really need to turn off my notifications. And I'm excited to be here with you today. Oh good, I can see Lindsay's on, which means this is working. So again, my name is Becky Sattler. I'm excited to be here talking with you guys tonight and sharing a little bit about my experiences and my ideas and hopefully giving a few tips. I don't claim to be the expert. That's the beauty of Scentsy and our Scentsy family, is that we all get to be learning in this together and kind of experimenting and learning as we go. So I have learned a few tips over the years that I'm excited to share with you, and some things that I found that have really changed. A lot of my recruiting has changed over the years. And you know, something funny, as I was thinking about this, a lot of people, they join to sell Scentsy and they say, oh, but I'm not a salesperson. And then we say, well, that's okay. All you have to do is share Scentsy and then it sells itself, right? And then you say, well, you know, I couldn't join because I'm not a salesperson, or I whatever, but you're all salespeople. We all are. We turn into that because otherwise our accounts would be terminated, right? So we figure it out by sharing and letting the opportunities to buy sell themselves. Well, the same thing is with recruiting. I don't think any of us join Scentsy and say, oh, I am a recruiter. I am a rock star sponsor who just loves to talk people into joining my team. I don't know personally. I don't know anybody who joined with that mind frame. So it's kind of funny. We get over the I'm not a salesperson because we have to, but a lot of times we don't get over the I'm not a recruiter because we don't necessarily have to, and it's scary, and the whole thing is scary. But so today there are a lot of different things. Hey everybody, I am gonna try not to read your comments because I'm gonna scroll all over the place, but I love you. Thanks for being on. It's fun to see everybody here. And so there's a lot of things that we could talk about with recruiting and sponsoring and team building: where to look, what to say, why to do it, how to do it, why you'd want to do it, what best tips are, what to say when you're posting, what to say in a flyer, how to flip a hostess. There's so many different avenues that we could talk about, and hopefully by the end of this you can see that it really is a lot bigger but smaller, and it's really not that scary, not that intimidating, and we all can be rock star recruiters. We just need to figure out the same way that we figure out how to sell without being slimy and that salesperson, because I think a lot of us have figured that out. I've been selling Scentsy for 11 years now, but I don't really feel like I've had to turn into a slimy salesperson. Guess what? The same thing can happen with recruiting and sponsoring and team building. You can figure out how to make it yours and how to really truly share something that you love and that you're excited about without being that slimy salesperson or that slimy recruiter. So hopefully tonight we can go through a little bit of an overview of why you would want to recruit, why you would want to build your team. If you haven't done it yet, let's figure out how and why. And for me, a lot of the times with my kids or with myself, if I understand why or the benefit of doing it, then I can figure out how to do it. So let's talk about why first. So here's a little story. There once was a Scentsy consultant who was a Scentsy consultant for 4 years before she ever earned a trip. She was a Scentsy consultant for 2 years as a lead consultant before she finally promoted up the ranks. I think it took her 3 years to become a director, and it took her a long time to figure out how to recruit. And then after that, guess what? That same consultant is me. A lot of people are like, well, if I had your personality, or if I didn't get scared, or if I knew how to recruit like you, then I would be a rock star recruiter too. Well, remember that consultant I just told you about, that it took her 4 years to earn her first incentive trip? It took her years and years and years to start growing a team. That's me, because I'm not a natural, and I'm not naturally outgoing. I'm really shy and reserved, and so I really had to force myself to figure out how to make it mine, because I also, like I said, I didn't want to be slimy. So But once upon a time, we had a whole bunch of student loans, like $100,000 in student loans from grad school, and I hated them. And so I joined Scentsy so that we could pay those off. So I joined with the intent to make money, but I didn't really know how. Like I said, it took me a long time. So if you're like years into it, months into it, decades into it, and you're like, oh man, I'm not good at it. I'm not good at making this business go. It's not where I need it to be. It's okay. Like I said, it took me 4 years to ever earn my first incentive trip. It took me 4 years to ever even kind of get the hang of recruiting and to find my voice, to find my way of doing it, because I didn't want to turn into that gross, slimy, MLM-y kind of person. And I thought, that's not worth it. I'll sell more if I have to make that up. So I'm gonna show you, you can't just sell more to make it up. You can't make up the difference. You have to recruit, you have to build your team, you have to sponsor, and you have to share and help them to be able to share too. You just have to figure out how to do it right. So, for the last 3 years, we have been living solely off of our Scentsy income. So income disclosure, check out the Scentsy income disclosure. Not all results are typical and all those things we're supposed to say. But I want to show you that it can be done and it is possible. So I couldn't figure out how to share my screen without sharing it the whole time. This might even be backwards, but hopefully you can see just by the colors. So even if it's, I hope it's not backwards. Even if it's backwards, what this is a graph that my cute husband made a couple years ago of my income by the source. So this isn't showing how much I made, but this is where it's coming from. So do you see this blue color? Hopefully you can see that it's starting here top, like it's starting really high, and then it continues. So this is by the year. So 2008, 2009, 2010, 11. So these are by the year, and then this is by the source. So the blue is my own personal sales. The purple is my monthly or my director generation bonus. The green is my frontline team wholesale volume. So that's my team bonus. So the purple is my director's bonus, and the green is my team bonus. And then the orange and the blue is my own personal sales. So as you can see, in 2008, a whole lot, I think it was 95% of my income came from my own efforts. And look, just a little teeny tiny bit came from my team. Because remember how I told you it took me a long time to figure out the whole recruiting thing. And then as the years went by, you know, this was the next year that after I started. And look, my own personal income, that's only just over half already in 1 year. And then the rest is coming from my team and my directors. And then look, the more years went on, look, the purple is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until now the purple and the green, which is my directors and my own team, is 95%. And look, that switched. Now my own sales in 2016 was only 5% of my income. So when my husband lost his job 3 years ago, there is no way we could have lived on, there's no way I could have sold enough to be able to live on it, to be able to make it so that our family didn't have to worry about it. And I'm not a millionaire, by the way, but we lived on it and we made it work. And it was because of our Scentsy business, because of sponsoring, because of building a team. So here is another graph, and this will be the last one, I promise, because I know they're kind of hard to see on here, but I couldn't figure out how to share it any other way. But this is the graph of the money. So there's no dollar signs here. You can't tell exactly how much it is, but this is proportion. So again, this is important. I hope you don't think that I'm bragging, but this is to show you where the money comes from and the potential, the compounding efforts from why you need to build your team. So here again, these are the same numbers, just in a little different graph. So these are the same numbers. Here's my sales down here. So you can see after 11 years, okay, well this is 2008 to 2016, but after all those same years, if I had continued my Scentsy business for 10 years, the same efforts, look how my income goes. It's about the same. It goes up and down a little bit over year because you can only sell so much Scentsy. But look, this is my total from my first year. This is my total from my second year. This is my total, and look, it's getting bigger and bigger. And all of this adds up to the total amount that I made in 2016. Again, this is how much I sold right here. About the same as I started out. Because again, it's kind of a linear equation when you're having to focus on everything that you're selling. But look, again, the green one is my team. And look, it's growing up. And then look, this is where I promoted a director. That's why the team kind of went down. But then the purple is my director generation bonus, and this is where it exponentially increases. This is why you want to build a team, because the green and the purple, again, just like that other graph where it became 95% of my income versus 5% of my own sales, but yet the paychecks got bigger and bigger and bigger. So hopefully with a little bit of wrapping your head around the real multiplying potential of sponsoring, that's how I work. When I figure out why I need to do something, then I can figure out how. Then I can do whatever it takes to jump on that wagon and to go hard, because I know that my big commission, it comes from my team, from helping others to grow and to succeed. And isn't that more fun anyway? Especially because most of us, I don't know, maybe you're a good salesperson, but most of us say, I'm not a salesperson, and I'm still not a salesperson. I'm just, some of you rock and roll at that, but I do what I can, and I love to share Scentsy, and I impressed myself because I didn't think I would sell any. I was one of those who signed up for the $99 kit because I'm in the United States, and I signed up for the $99 kit, and I figured I can sell 500 in my first month, and if I stink at this, it's okay because I'll make my money back and I can walk away. So I think a lot of us learn and figure out how to make it work with selling. So we need to figure out how to make it work with sponsoring as well, because it really does. So here's the same commission compensation chart. What's that called? Oh, what's that called that we have to show? Income disclosure. And so this income disclosure that's on our workstation also shows the potential. I love this because this shows the potential of how much you make at each different level. And again, why the big money really does come when you sponsor. And the rewards come from your influence, from building a team. So Essential Consultant maximum annual commission was about $200. And that's good. I mean, that's $200 extra. That's, buying milk for your kids. That's buying school supplies. That's buying whatever. $200, that's great. We were at that part where I needed $10 to pay a phone bill at one part in our lives, and I didn't have it. And I had to pray that Heavenly Father would help me find $10 to pay my phone bill. So $200, that is significant. That is something. But as you go down the different list, Superstar Director, as you look at the difference between Essential Consultant and Superstar Director, the maximum annual compensation commissions paid for whatever year this was, it was a couple years ago, was $962,153. So that's almost $1 million in 1 year. And maybe you guys are better salespeople than I am, but there is no way I could sell enough to make $1 million in the year just by sales alone. So once you wrap your head around the beauty of the power of our business model and the direct sales model, to where we get to be paid for helping others to share and grow their own businesses and to have success as well. So once I kind of wrapped my mind around why I want to recruit, that helps me from feeling slimy or feeling selfish or feeling self-serving. I need you to join my team because I need to make more money. No, I'm getting compensated for helping you, so we all can multiply and grow together, because I also know that for you to make more money, you can share the opportunity as well. So that's a little bit about why and the importance of it. Sorry, I could talk about this all day, but I'm gonna try to really keep it short and sweet so that we can take different avenues later. So if your goal is to be at that top level, that Superstar Director, because you're making $1 million a year, and not everybody's making $1 million a year. That was the maximum paid out. So again, a little bit of reality check here. Not all of your Superstar Director friends are gazillionaires, but that is where the compensation plan is multiplied and hits its fullest potential. So that means you need to find 4 people at least who want to be directors and help them get to director. So if you keep that long game vision in sight, then you can really, and have that long game mentality, you'll play the game a little bit differently. You'll play your business, you'll work your business a little bit differently, knowing that you are in it to win it for the long term. You're building a business. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's something that really is a legitimate business that we get to be paid and compensated for helping our coworkers, for helping our team members. And I love that about it. And once I kind of had that mind switch, then it helped me be able to not be afraid to talk to people about it. And it helped me not feel slimy, and it helped me not feel like I was self-serving, because I was really helping other people to have the same thing that I had. So, let's see. Do y'all know what paid at title means? I find that lots of times we just kind of gloss over that. I think something that's very important when you talk about sponsoring, I think a lot of people don't realize what it takes to be paid on those team members. So paid at title, just super quickly, there are 3 things that you need to do to be paid at title. Your own personal sales, so we need to sell at least 500 PRV in every month to be able to be paid at that title that you are, or to promote, whatever it is. So 500 PRV, and then you need a required number of active frontline. Those are the people that you've personally sponsored. Those are your front line. And they need to be active, meaning they need to put in at least 200 PRV so that they can be active. Sometimes people miss out on a promotion because they think, oh, I got them on, now they're on my team, I can have that qualification taken, but they need to be active. So that's why you always need to be growing more than you would even need to promote or to be paid at title, because you can't force them to be active and you don't know what's going to go on in their life during that month. So the more the better. That's why they always say go wide. That means recruit and keep sponsoring and as many as you can, and then help them to build their own team so that they can recruit as well, or so that they can benefit as well. So 1, active 500 PRV for yourself. 2, you need to have a certain number of active front lines, those that you've recruited. And then the 3rd is your whole team sales all together, and it's wholesale. So we can talk about that later, but just those, knowing that there are 3 things, that's easy, just 3 things that you need to do to figure out how to really make the most money off of your team as well. A lot of people miss out on a lot of those team leadership bonuses because we aren't paid. Every time you sponsor somebody, you're not paid a kickback. You don't get a sign-on bonus. I sponsored Sally to come join me, so now I get $200. That's not how it works. I get the potential to be helping her and to be making money right alongside of her for the rest of her duration as a Scentsy consultant. That's even better. But so, like I said, I think a lot of times consultants don't even understand how it works and how it even benefits us to sponsor. But the benefit is that you can have this big, huge team all working in it together with you, and then together you can all rise up. And when you take that mentality for recruiting, it also is a different mentality for how you talk about the business as well. With that kind of mentality, you would never post on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat and say, I need to earn an incentive. Who wants to come join my team? Or I need to recruit somebody this month or else I can't be paid at title. So, you know, come join my team. Because that, again, those are all those arrows pointing in, because it might be true that that's what you need to get annual mentor, that's what you need to promote, or that's what you need to earn an incentive. But again, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking to help more people join and have their own business as well. So, like I said, when you kind of wrap your mind around the long game mentality and what you're really trying to do here, I think it really helps things be more natural. It helps you feel more natural in your element so that recruiting becomes a lot more natural, and it doesn't get as scary, as well as it doesn't get the bad rap because we're not doing it kind of slimy. And I know a lot of times it's better to do it a little off and wobbly than to not do it at all, because you do get better the more you do it. But so I find a lot of recruiting, it's all in here. It has to do with your mindset, and it has to do with if you want it badly enough. And that's why I start with the whole overview of why you want to recruit. I found that when I wanted it badly enough, I tried a million different ways, and kind of the shotgun approach. I tried a million different things, and I still continue to do a lot of different things to throw that net really wide to figure out what's going to work. And when I really say, I need this, this is going to happen, and then I figure out different things to try, that's when I can find my way, how Becky Sattler recruits, and how Jane Smith can recruit, and how Sally Doe can recruit. You will have your own unique way of recruiting. And that's why it's really hard to give scripts. It's really hard to say do this and this will happen, because it's going to be different for everybody, and you will reach them if you find your way of doing it with your own personality, with your own talents, with your own interests, with your own social settings and skills and things like that. So, there was something I was just gonna say that I forgot. So with the mindset, when you decide that you want to do it, then you'll put on those recruiting glasses. It's kind of like, the same world is there. I don't know how many of you wear glasses, but I wear glasses, I wear contacts. And so when I don't have them in, everything can still be there, but I can't see it. So when I put on my glasses, then I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Or, oh, that's an actual tree instead of a blob. That tree was always there, but I couldn't see it. So it's just like putting on your recruiting glasses. They're there. I promise you. I can't tell you how many team members say, oh, nobody wants to join my team, or nobody's interested in this anymore, or people just don't join anymore, or man, this is not the right time to recruit. It is. They're there. You just have to put on those glasses so you can see them. Otherwise, that tree just looks like a green blob and you can't recognize it. So they are there, I promise. You just have to find them. And sometimes you have to tell them that they're interested. You have to teach them, because they might not even know that this is what they're looking for, and this is the right time, and this is the right place, and this is the right company, and you are the right person to hold their hand and do it together. And then recruiting is not scary for you, and it's not scary for them. I think a lot of times so I'm going to teach you my 2 secret weapons, but first I think I want to say, don't be afraid to just plant the seed and to just give the invitation. Our job is to just invite, to just offer the opportunity. A lot of times we judge in our mind before, oh, she's not going to do it because she doesn't need any money, or, oh, he's too shy, he would never do it. Our job is to just, remember I said, cast that net wide. Figure out how you want to do it, but just don't be discriminating in who you're going to give the opportunity to, because you never know. I've had some people that I've recruited and I'm like, oh man, she's my golden girl, she's gonna be so good, and then they just don't do anything. And then other people have totally surprised me, and I know it's bad to say that I didn't really expect much out of them, but they just really took it off and went amazing, because I didn't know what was going on in their life. And sometimes they start off slow and then something changed, then all of a sudden they're ready to work it. Our job is to not be greedy, not be grubby, and we just need to share it with everybody and let them make the choice. Don't make the choice for them by not offering it in the first place. And when you switch it around in your mind, then it feels selfish if you don't share it. And it feels like you are keeping it to yourself too much if you don't offer it to others. So we offer it and then let them decide. And we are not begging, we're offering something really cool. And don't be afraid to just give an invitation and don't verbal vomit all over them and to give them too much information. A lot of times people give too much information. Well, here's the compensation plan, and here's how much you have to sell, and here's what comes in the starter kit. I don't say any of those things. I don't even say any of those things. I don't say, if you join this month, you can get twice as much and whatever. I just give them the reason why they'd want to join, because it's always the best time to join Scentsy, anytime. So you make your little list of why this month is the best time to join Scentsy. It doesn't even have to do with the value of the value of their kit, because sometimes it doesn't have to do with money. People join for a million different reasons, and it might be the best time to join because Valentine's Day is going to be hard. In America, it's Valentine's Day coming up, and maybe they have nobody to love and they need some friends. I mean, we never know what Scentsy can fill that void in their life. So again, we offer and let them decide. And like I said, don't feel like you even have to know anything. If you join Scentsy today, you are qualified to recruit. You're qualified to sponsor somebody, because guess what? We have all the tools on our workstation. And don't forget to use those to help in your recruiting. Get things that will help make it easy for you. So find a video on Scentsy.com on their YouTube channel or something like that. Or find a flyer that really helps, or make one yourself. Or that's why I love possibility packets, your recruiting packets. Because then you give the invitation and then you back it up with somebody else telling them why it's good. So it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. One, that takes a lot of that weight off of your shoulders to have to explain everything and to have to show why it's so amazing. And 2, it's kind of gives them a little breather. You just give them the invitation and say, hey, here you go. Would you like this? Would you like to see this? Would you like to watch this video? Would you like to try this warmer? Would you like to try these washer whiffs? Would you like to have this packet to see what it's like? Would you like to see my team video of all of us at a whatever, What's in my possibility packets? I can show you in a minute, but I'm gonna lose my train of thought. Get something, and if you have to, and I use my possibility packets not necessarily because, oh look, here's a sneak peek, not necessarily because they are the end all be all, you read this and you will join, but it helps me because if I make 10 of these every month, I can visually see, oh man, I still have 8 left. I better get on the stick because I gotta give these babies out. So if nothing else, it's a visual reminder and counter of how much I've done this month. So do something, whatever it takes, to remind yourself and kind of give yourself those little carrots or reward yourself. I'm not very good at rewarding myself. I'm way better at making myself stick to, a goal than rewarding myself. My husband's, he likes to reward himself. So if you need to reward yourself, say, I'm gonna talk to 10 people this week, and then once I'm done, they don't have to say yes or no. Remember, our job is not tied to the outcome. Our job is just to invite, to give them that invitation. Then they get to decide if they're coming to the party or not. So figure out what it takes to help make sure that you can do it. Okay, are you ready? Now we're getting down to, so we talked about the why and the bigger vision of where this business really can go when you sponsor and how using the compensation plan, it really, really can multiply your efforts and your money. And it's way more exciting when you're with friends anyway. And when you bring your whole team, my favorite part is to mentor and to teach my team. And I'm not in it alone. I hate to do things alone and I hate to feel like I'm all by myself. And so this way you get to bring your friends with you. With those recruiting glasses, sometimes you could start today. You could start right now because I bet there's somebody that's popped into your mind while I'm talking to this and you're talking about this with you. And I bet you're like, oh yeah, my friend Jane, she'd be so great. I would love to do this with her. Write her name down because I promise once you write things down, then you'll be a lot better at doing it and it'll jog your memory and people will come to your mind that you hadn't thought of before that need to join. There is some crazy magic power in actually writing it down. So I say start with your Fab 5. Pick your Fab 5, your favorite 5 people in the world or people that you just think would make a dream team if they would join you. They might be a friend or a neighbor or a coworker or even just somebody in your community that just is really good at rocking their business. A lot of times we put on blinders and we think we need to only ask people to join if they are poor, if they are destitute, and if they just can't get by without Scentsy. Scentsy has been a huge financial blessing in our lives. Remember the girl who needed $10 to pay a phone bill? Yeah, huge. But not everybody needs that, or not everybody starts because of that. Sometimes it's just friendships, sometimes it's travel, sometimes it's recognition, a pat on the back, a sense of belonging. There are a million reasons why people need Scentsy in their lives and why they would be really good at it. So once we put on those glasses, then we can see. Okay, and that brings me to my how, to my words. So right now I'm not gonna talk about where we can find them because that might be a conversation for another day as far as like flipping your hosts or fundraisers or how to do international or possibility packets and all that stuff. There's a million different ways for where to find them. Once you've found them and gotten them on the hook, these are my 2 proven methods, not 4, just 2. 2 ways. I have one of 2 methods that I'll use when I'm gonna talk to somebody. Because a lot of times people say, I just don't know what to say. So we're gonna leave the how and where to find them to maybe a conversation for another day because that would take up time in and of itself. But for right now, I'm going to teach you once you get them, once you find them, this is what you say. And there are 2 methods that I use. So the first method is called the direct method. Okay, so just a quick little aside. Jason Harwood did a training a long time ago. I can't even remember what book he was training from, but he said there are 2 reasons why people don't do something, whatever it is. Why you don't go on a diet, why you don't whatever, why you don't recruit, why you don't whatever. If you're not doing something or your team isn't doing something, there are 2 reasons. One, either they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to do it. They lack the skills and the techniques to know even how to go about doing it. Or number 2, they really know and could probably come up with how to do it, but they're afraid. And they need to figure out how to conquer their fear. So I find that a lot of times the fear comes. And I can overcome fear just by trying something, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, our job is just to invite and then let them choose. So Here are 2 ways that you can invite. Number 1, it's the direct method. And this one is my favorite because it makes me excited and it gets that little spark in my heart, but it also makes me really nervous. And I kind of like doing things, I don't know, it's like shock therapy, I guess. I like kind of doing things that really pushes me outside of my comfort zone, and this does it every time. Because this one, remember how I said put on those recruiting glasses so you can see? This one's kind of like that, where you see things that you only see once you look for them. You look for something in every person that you're gonna talk to, every person, every potential. You look for something unique. It can't be a canned, oh, you're so fun, or oh, you're so bubbly, or I just think you'd be great because whatever. It has to be unique to them, or else it's gonna feel canned to you and it's gonna feel spammy to them, and nobody wants to be spammed at. But the beauty of this is, even if they don't decide to jump on your team and don't decide that now is the right time, they're going to leave feeling better about themselves because you've seen something in them that makes them see it in themselves. This is why I joined, because my mom said, oh, you should join Scentsy, because I wanted to own a business. I always did. And she's like, oh, I think you'd be really good selling Scentsy. I'm like, yeah, Mom, I am shy and backwards and an introvert. There's no way. I'm not the party girl. I don't do friends very well. Yeah. But when she was like, I think you would be great at selling Scentsy because you've always wanted to run a business, and I think you should run it as a business. I think you would be really good at that. And that is why I joined. And that is why I couldn't sleep at night, because that idea, those ideas of what she saw in me that I didn't see in myself, it started just running around in my head. And then I just started to see it as she told me. And then I thought, well, if I were to run it like a business, what would I do? And she saw something in me that was totally unique and something that was totally just for me. And that was the hook. She wasn't even a consultant. I was just looking for a way to get rid of that huge student loan debt, remember? And I had just had my 3rd baby, so I didn't want to leave my babies. And she said, well, I think you should do this. And so I joined because she saw something in me and wasn't afraid to tell me what she saw. So it's kind of a 2-part thing. You have to develop the skill to be able to see that in some people, because sometimes at first blush we don't really see those things in other people because we haven't really trained ourselves to see all of the good things. But so when you start to see it and then you tell them that, then they can take that and run with it or not. So you look for one true unique quality why they would be great at Scentsy. Not why Scentsy would be great for them, because we all know that Scentsy would be so great for all of us. It's been a huge blessing in our lives. And so a lot of times when we recruit, we take that and go, oh, Scentsy would be so great because it would solve all of your problems. That's true, but if you turn it around and say why you would be great at Scentsy, then they can see themselves in there. And then you won't be pulling them along even if they do join, because they've got that fire inside of them. They're gonna be running towards the vision that you gave them and that you had them, just like my mom did that one day. So, and then you express confidence in them. You know, I think you would be great at Scentsy because, like my mom said, because you've always wanted to run a business, and I think you'd be really good at running a business, and I can just see you doing well with this. And then we get to take it a step further and say, and don't worry, I will be here to help you. So you express confidence in them as well as you express confidence they can have in you. They're not gonna be alone. They don't have to run this business all by themselves. They get to do it holding your hand and together. So that's where the confidence comes. So there's 3 sentences that I usually do. You would be great at Scentsy because blank. Fill it in, figure it out. You can even just say these in your mind as I kind of play a little game. And as I see people, even just friends of mine out on the street or whatever, I kind of see if I could see that trigger in them. Even if I don't invite them and don't say it, I see if I can pick it out. Friends of mine that I already know, or people that I just meet on the street, if I can pick out some unique quality in them, then like I said, I train my eye, and then it's kind of like putting on those glasses, and then all I have to do is just go a step further and say it. So the 3 sentences: you would be great at Scentsy because blank. And then who doesn't love a compliment? When it's unique and sincere, it won't be felt gross, and you won't feel gross and they won't feel gross. And then the second thing is express confidence in them that they would be great. And then again, the third thing I said is express confidence that they can have in you, that you will be here to help them, guide them. You don't have to know everything. You just get to be their friend, to hold their hand. You can even learn it together. Even if you're a brand new consultant today, you'll learn it way faster if you're having to learn it with somebody else and they're asking you questions anyway. So don't feel like you have to know everything. Don't feel like you have to be successful before you can recruit. That's another pitfall that I see a lot of times. People say, well, I need to really be successful before I can say that this really works. Or I need to know what I'm doing before I can really have the confidence to tell others that I'll be good at being their mentor, because I don't know, I haven't mentored anybody. Well, how are you gonna be a mentor until you are one? Again, nobody has to be perfect. Everybody just can be in this together. Oh, sorry, there's another one. Okay, so it doesn't even have to be Scentsy related. It can be that they're really good with graphic design. It can be that they're really good on the computer. It can be that they're really friendly. It can be that they're good at throwing parties. It can be that they really like to do fundraisers, and so they'd be a great to take that niche. Like I said, it can be something that's not necessarily related to Scentsy. That's their strength or whatever. So that's the direct method. And if you are all in here with me today, I'd say, okay, now practice on each other. So that's your assignment for tonight is, go practice on your dog or think of something, why you would be great at Scentsy because blank, you know? So then the other method, this method is the one that I started out with because this method is a little less scary. Like I said, remember the direct method I like because it kind of gives me that little zing of, oh, I'm gonna die. Nope, you don't die. It just gives you that little high of, oh, I did it and I didn't die. And again, remember, they don't even have to say yes. You're not connecting that to the outcome of your invitation. You're just inviting. That's your job. Just invite everybody. The second method is the indirect method. It's either referrals, like who do you know? I can't even tell you how my business has grown based on who do you know. That's how I grew into Australia. Every party, every customer that came to pick up any orders, any person that I talked to that I hadn't seen, anybody that I ran into the grocery store, they'd be like, oh, how's your business? I'd be like, oh, actually, we are expanding into Australia next month. Do you know anybody in Australia? Do you know anybody who, has contacts down there or whatever? And I got this friend of mine, this girlfriend of mine, she gave me 30 contacts from Australia. So a lot of the times it's the indirect method. Who do you know? Who do you know that would like to buy Scentsy? Who do you know that would like to join? Who do you know that would like to run a business? Who do you know that really likes to take trips? Who do you know that, likes to network with people? Who do you know who's looking for another income? Who do you know that's wanting to retire from their job or wants a little more flexibility? Whatever you're looking for, whatever you're deciding, you get to ask, but don't be afraid to ask. Who do you know? Ask at parties, ask with friends, ask in conversations you run up to. And also think of a system that you can do so that you're not always having to just do one-to-one. Every warmer that goes out, you can put a sticker on it or a card. I've seen a lot of people that say, if you love your warmer, take a picture and share it on Facebook and tag me, and you'll give them some kind of prize, or even just ask them to do it and then they'll love it. So get some kind of system in place for your referrals so that they will still it'll be a well-oiled machine so that your influence is spreading and trickling, because again, you only know however many people you know, and your circle is this big. Sometimes I feel like my circle is this big because like I said, remember, I'm not very social, but they have friends and they have friends and they have friends, and you never know in this circle who is really, really, really wanting Scentsy, and they don't even know it, but they would love to have this opportunity to have a Scentsy business just like you. So figure out whatever system, whether it's your hosts to help get more referrals or referrals for people who might want to join, or whatever it is. There are a lot of different systems for postcards. You can put in a postcard with your story and a, hey, join my team or whatever into every bag that goes out the door to your customers, every order, whatever. Just think of some kind of system to get referrals, because again, then you are expanding that circle and you're not just having to deal with the people that you personally come in contact with, but it helps to make it bigger and bigger. So, and then the other half of the indirect is, do you know anyone who would love to start a Scentsy business? Do you know anyone who's looking to earn some extra money? Do you know anyone who is, so asking for referrals, but also do you know anyone who is looking? Because I can't tell you how many times that takes the pressure off of that person, and I'm really asking them because I really think they would be great, but either I'm too wimpy to ask and say, you would be great at Scentsy because blank, and I just don't have my big girl panties on that day and I'm just too scared. So then I say, or maybe I think that they would get a little scared by that direct approach. So then I say indirect approach, and I just say, do you know anyone who would love to join my team for the half price kit this month? You know, you can get an essentials kit, blah, 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 whatever it is. Do you know anyone who would? And like I said, lots of times I've had them say, you know, actually I would. And because you took that pressure off of them, because you're just saying, hey, do you know anyone? Then they can be like, oh, actually, I want in on this. And then it's not so scary for them to say yes, because a lot of times we think that we own all the fear in the world. We are the ones that are the most scared, when really they might be scared to say, maybe they've even been watching you. Maybe they even want to join you, and they're just thinking, oh, she must not think I'm very good because she's never asked me to be on her team. Somebody told me that once. Isn't that so sad? When really I thought this person was gonna rock and roll. I was just too scared to ask her. But when I finally did ask her after probably about 2 years, she was like, oh, I just didn't think you really thought that I'd be very good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, of course I think you're good. I was just scared and wimpy. So don't be afraid to be authentic. That's why I love our Scentsy values. Simplicity, keep it simple. Use Scentsy tools like a video. So you just invite and then you let Scentsy back you up, or a flyer or something like that. Keep it simple, keep it authentic. You have to do you. You have to find a way that it makes it yours, or else you're never gonna do it and they're not gonna respond well to it. And then generosity. Be generous with your love, with your information, with your vision. I think that's my favorite part of generosity, is when you can really truly use your gifts to see something in somebody else that they don't see. They don't know it yet. And so you can be generous in giving them a gift that even if they don't join your team, you've seen something in them that they didn't see in themselves. And then that is where really, you know, we can really impact people with our business, even if it's not related to our business. And I think that's my favorite part, is it helps us be better people and it helps make the world a better place. And anyway, that's a story for another day. But so direct method, just go ahead and say it. You'd be great at Scentsy because blank. Train yourself to see it, and don't be afraid to say it, because remember, you're just inviting. You're not attaching any kind of outcome to it. And then the second thing, indirect. Referrals, and who do you know? Who do you know that would love to join Scentsy? Who do you know that would like to go on this trip with me? If they, next time they earn, I do that all the time when they announce a new incentive trip, say, hey, guess what? I'm going to Marco Island, Florida. Who do you know that would want to join me? Or who do you know that's always wanted to go, or whatever. There's a lot of different things that you can use. Again, it's always the best time to join Scentsy. Make a few lists. I have a training that I usually do with my team, and at the end, I always make them, and it's how to be a recruiting rock star. And at the end, I make them actually physically write it out. Because remember how at the beginning I said there's magic in actually writing things down? Write down your Fab 5. Right now, who you would love to join, to be on your team, who you think would be great. And then these are some other things that I have them write. List the individuals that you'd like to approach directly. Like I said, right now, I bet there's somebody that's been in your mind and on your heart that you're like, I haven't asked her yet, but I need to. Or he would be so great, I need to just get up the courage and just do it. So write those down, because right now you're all excited and you're like, yes, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be a recruiting rock star. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you're gonna be like, remember, I'm scared. Remember, there's 2 reasons why we don't do what we need to do. 1, you don't know what to do, but now you know what you need to do. Or 2, we get too scared. So write it down, and that'll hold yourself accountable. And then list reasons why it's a good time to join for all 12 months. It's always the best time to join. You're not lying, you're not leading anybody on, but it really is. Now is always the best time to join. And then you could list some stories that you could share with potential recruits, just little teeny tiny sound bites, or even resources like make up your possibility packets. And I promised at the end that I would show you what's in mine. It's really nothing rocket science, but it works for me. Like I said, if nothing else, it holds me accountable, because I make up 10 of these every month. And if at the end of the month I haven't given them away, I see them sitting there staring at me on the counter, and I know that I have to get in gear and I have to give them away. So like I said, nothing amazing, but oh, and this one doesn't even have my little story in it. And also another little hint that I always do in my recruiting packets is I always put a sticky note on the outside, just a blank one, just a plain one sticky note on the outside, because when I give this to them, then I say, hey, actually, can I get your information so I can follow up with you? And then I keep the sticky note, they get this. It's the key to giving them the folder. That way I don't just give them out and then I never know where they are, because what if that person really wants to join my team, but they're scared? Remember, the scared goes both ways. It's not just we who get scared. It's not just us, but they get scared as well. So if you help follow up, it's kind of like me calling back the dentist or, you know, the doctor or something like that. It's super helpful when they call me because I just get busy and I forget or I keep putting it off. But when they call me, then I can make my appointments and actually go see them every 6 months like I'm supposed to. Otherwise, it just keeps dragging on. It's the same thing with your potential recruits. Even if they decide they want to join, you need to give them a little love tap and help gather them in so that they're not scared and so that they can join. Because remember, right now is the best time to join. So in my little recruiting packet, these are just the ones from Scentsy. So like I said, nothing amazing, but again, use what we have. So it doesn't have to be amazing. So I always give them a little sample because it's the smell that sells. And I have my little Scentsy story in here. I think this is the golden part that a lot of people forget. It doesn't have to be amazing. If you just joined today, your Scentsy story can be what you hope Scentsy will do for you. Your Scentsy story can be what you envision Scentsy being for your family. Again, you don't have to be in it 10 years and have a team of 50 million gazillion thousand to be able to say, this is my story. Your story can just be the hope of your story and what you're hoping Scentsy will do for your family or for your life or for your confidence or for a trip that you're working towards right now or something like that. Your Scentsy story is yours. You can own it, and it's incredible. And that is what others will feel that authenticity with. It's okay to not look like you know what you are doing, because that's me. I don't have it all together. And that actually gives other people the courage and confidence to be like, if she can do it, I can do it. So, and then there's the Become a Scentsy Consultant. We just barely got these for those of you who went to World Tour. We just got these in our little World Tour kit, the Scentsy Life, and it has stuff about hosting as well as joining and the compensation plan and all that stuff too. See this little kit. So at least in the US, sorry, I don't know about region 2 and 3 if you guys got those as well, but I know that there are resources in the workstation in Scentsy store and things like that for it to, like I said, don't feel like you gotta have kind of your wingman to back you up. Let Scentsy do that with their materials. Why it's the best time. There's also another resource, top 10 reasons to join Scentsy. Again, then I'm not convincing them. The paper's doing it. I just gave them the paper. Remember, my job is just to invite, and then it takes all the pressure off of me. You can put a catalog in there if you want. I always put in a scent circle or a sample of washer whiffs or something like that. Because then, again, that's generous, and I feel like even if they don't join, they've gotten a fun little spark, because again, it takes courage for them to take the packet. Remember, we gotta switch it up and look on the other side. We're the ones thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this, this is so scary. But it's scary for them to take it and to even think about it as well. So we honor them a little bit by giving them a little gift. And like I said, don't forget this on the front. So anyway, I have now gone 50 minutes. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, we could talk about, I even wrote down just a little last minute scribbles because I was like, well, we need to go over where you can find these people. But again, my time is up. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much. So that's a conversation for another day, where to find them. So tonight we just talked about why. Expand your vision, dream big. Your dreams really can come true. Oh, scent circles. Yes, Emily Davis, I do scent circles as well. Whatever little gift you want to give them, because then that you can be like, hey, I've got a gift to give you. So see, and look, I just squirreled. So we can talk about where to find them, but as long as you remember the vision of what you can do with your Scentsy business, what dreams it can realize for you. Not everything is based on money, but money really does open up possibilities. Whether it's, you know, getting your son on that amazing sports team that costs a lot of money, or buying yourself a new pair of shoes like Jamie Solon's, or, you know, just opening up opportunities to take your family on a vacation, or, you know, whatever it is. Remember what you're going for. Remember the goal. Remember that when I started out, 95% of my income came from my own sales. But remember, the graph was only this big. This is all that I was making from that. But look, if I want to continue at that, I'll continue till the day I die. The big progress comes from helping others to join your team. And if you keep that in your mind, then that helps me have the confidence, because Lots of times you just have to do it, and then you get better as you go. It gets better and better every time. So don't feel like you even have to be perfect with your pitch or with your invitations. It's okay. Remember, our job is to just invite. Put on those recruiting glasses so you can see those people, those friends, those contacts that are already in your life. You just haven't put on the glasses to be able to see them, but I know they're there. This is an exciting month. It's February. We've got a million reasons why this month is the best month to join. And you know what? In March, it's gonna be the best month to join as well. So thanks everybody. Big hugs to you. Thanks for coming to watch and for participating. And here's to a great recruiting month and to sponsoring new team members and to helping all of our teams grow. So anyway, have a great night. Thanks. Bye.